replacement LCD on this HP NC6400 that we took apart earlier in the week, and the new LCD finally just came in today. So we're going to go ahead and get it all installed and make sure it's working. This is the new LCD. Thanks to Chris at NSW. And just toss the bag to the side. So here we get the new screen, protective plastic over it that we'll remove later. And first we're going to start by getting the inverter that we took out earlier in the week and putting it back in place. Sorry about that, I had to get my screwdriver. I'm going to go ahead and remove the screws that I put so they didn't get misplaced or lost. These are for the inverter. One screw over here that holds the LCD frame in place. This one again holds the LCD front bezel or frame in place. And that one just fell, and I will find it later. One of these screws holds the LCD frame in place, and the other holds the actual front bezel in place. So there's two screws right here. And here's the screw that I lost earlier. Okay. Here we have the old LCD. We need to remove this metal bracket that'll go onto the new LCD to hold it in place. 4 small screws. Take your small Phillips head screwdriver. These are different size threads, so you don't want to get them mixed up. Then we can just go ahead and remove this brackets. And on this particular model, there's only one side that has to be removed. The other side does not have a bracket. It's actually embedded into the frame or the back housing of the notebook cover clamshell. This screen is now trash, so we will just put it aside. Take the new LCD. bracket back onto it. It's a matter of lining up the holes. Now that the bracket is in place, we can go ahead and test it before we actually go ahead and install everything and then find out it doesn't work. Let's take the inverter. This came off the original assembly, and we will simply reconnect it. The video connector and inverter are securely in place. Just fold this up right here to where it does not fall over. And somewhere around here I have the AC adapter. Now we're just going to give it power. So we have video on the screen, which is always a good sign. That means the replacement LCD is working, there was nothing wrong with the motherboard or the video card or the inverter on this laptop. So replacing this LCD costs less than $70 and it's as good as new. Go ahead and finish letting Windows load so we can properly shut it down and get everything mounted and sealed back up. Also, we'll be replacing the keyboard whenever it arrives because they are missing 2 keys here, and you cannot replace just the keys. You have to replace the entire keyboard. Alright, Windows is at the final stage of loading, so let's go ahead and shut it down. disconnect the power. You want to reuse this tape or get some new tape. This just helps make sure the video cable does not come loose, opening and closing the laptop. First thing we're going to do is mount the inverter. Don't over tighten it or you'll crack the inverter and have to buy a new one. You're going to make sure that the cables for the inverter are not being pinched. Just tuck it up behind the LCD and then line everything up. For this corner, we only are going to be using one screw. It's only held in place by one screw. On this side. Alright, so now the LCD isn't going to go anywhere. Just want to make sure this cable that is for the wireless card does not get snagged. So just kind of snake it back through the little routing system they have here. Okay, now the left side, there's 4 mounting screws, which we're going to have to go ahead and screw back into place. These are a little trickier to align. And you don't want to over tighten, risk damaging the new LCD, and you're stuck buying a new LCD. So now that's it. The new LCD is installed. Go ahead and remove the protective plastic film. And now we are ready to put on the front bezel. Alright, now that I can remember where I put it, we're ready to go ahead and install it. Kind of just snaps in place. It's also held together by a little bit of tape, not very much. Just kind of press it and you'll hear it snap in place. Don't want to press too hard and risk breaking any of the small plastic snaps, because then you will be stuck by a new front bezel. Now, just need to screw the front bezel in place. Just 4 screws. Kind of walk your fingers around the frame, make sure it is clasped in place. Closes fine. Opens fine. Let's go ahead and power it back on and verify that it still works. We didn't pinch any cables or loosen any wires. There you go. That's pretty much it. Has a brand new LCD. It'll be good as new when we get the keyboard replaced, which will hopefully arrive in the next day or so. There are 4 basically rubber adhesive covers to cover these screws. If you can manage to not lose them, you can just go ahead and put them back in place. That way you don't have an exposed screw. It just makes it look a little cleaner. And keeping the, you don't have to really apply any new adhesive to it. They pretty much will stick back in place. And there you go. Everything works fine. I'll be doing another short video whenever the keyboard arrives to show you how we go about removing the old keyboard and installing the new one, which is actually a fairly quick process. Normally the cost runs below $40 for parts and labor. So go ahead and shut it down, and thank you for watching.